searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Hello, family. Welcome. This is Old Gods of Appalachia on ZealZaddy. My name is Scott. My pronouns are he, him. And tonight's episode is You're Gonna Give It a Mouth. Check out our D&D supplements on DriveThruRPG. You can also check out our first Cypher System supplement. It is now on DriveThruRPG 2. It's called The Porter. It includes... There's also a short story from a novelist we hired to do a 10,000 word novelette of the same name. The opening music is by OBP Music, and it was composed by Nico Rhodes and sung by Melody McClellan, who is awesome. They are awesome to work with. If you ever need music for your campaigns or streams, I definitely highly recommend OBP Music of any style. They are now working on my music for Invisible Sun. The Old Gods of Appalachia RPG was created by Monte Cook Games. We are in appreciation of their efforts. We will forever be in love with the content they're bringing out. So much cool stuff. There is the Magnus Archives. This game, of course, just an amazing listing. As a final warning, though, Old Gods of Appalachia is a horror campaign that may contain material not suitable for all audiences, so listener discretion is advised. The Great War just ended, and some of the fighting folks have begun returning home, including a few to Guilty Hole. War changes folks, of course, some more than others, but towns change too from wars. Guilty Hole's changed. It's grown a little due to the coal mining and the war's the need for that, and the sawmill, of course. And a few families of means have taken up residence, mostly owners and managers of the aforementioned businesses. And when heroes return home and appreciations commence, then complete, the town winds its way back to normalcy. And that's where we are now. Guilty Hole, back to normalcy, and the days run long and normal in winter. Hi, everybody. Let's get everybody introduced here. It is, of course, time for some amazing introductions to the cast of this show. Why don't we start with Ashley and let Ashley kind of wind the way around clockwise.
All right. Well, first, as the player, hi, I'm Natalie, she, they, everywhere on the interwebs with Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. But today, I'm playing good old Ashley Crane, and out of country, well, not out of country, but not originally from Guilty Hole, let alone West Virginia. And we'll get to learn a little bit more about that, I suppose, but good to meet you.
All right. Mr. Lieutenant Gabriel Henry Crow.
Hello, player introduction. My name is Tom. I go by Grimm on the internet. You can find me almost everywhere at empathic_Grimm. And I'm playing Lieutenant Gabriel Henry Crow of the United States Military Forces. I have recently came back home after an extended stay on the European front. I am, to my understanding, the last of the wayward sons and daughters of Guilty Hole that has returned home.
Very nice. You take no pride in the particular service you served in. You just call it all the military.
I served with dignity in a couple of different roles in my time over across in Europe.
All right, then. Let's get Thea in here, then. I think you are.
Do we say howdy?
No,
oh gosh.
There you are.
Good evening. My name is Theodosia Thea. Um, Thea, just Thea now. You would have remembered me from the Wooden family, but for some reason I've been around town a lot. You don't know why. I was supposed to go and become a doctor and leave town, but I'm still here. And there's totally no reason for why that's happening.
All right, Albie.
Howdy. Hey, travelers. I'm Morgan with Mindfully Mondays. I'm a professional GM. You can hire myself or one of my teammates over at mindfullymondays.com. We also have content on the DMs Guild. Check it out. I recently, not too long ago, right around, I guess, Halloween, so it was a couple months ago, I worked on a project for Underground Oracle. It's called We Own the Night. It's a one-page werewolf TTRPG. I did the layout for them, so if you get a chance, check it out. Support UO Publishing. They are an amazing team. Besides that, tonight I am playing Albie Duty. We just call him Albie. Albie Lee Duty, just Albie. Albie is a local, much like his friend Gabe, who they were friends along with their other friends Sam and Albie's brother Bill. Unfortunately, Bill and Sam didn't make it home like we did. So, and I've been dealing with the pains of losing family and loved ones. So
Can I jump back in because my brain turned on?
Of course. It is
Thea
a family meal
17.
here. What?
Thea's 17. So she's a youngin'. And you can find me, Tiffany, at Dungeon_Damsels. I run my own campaign. Michael is in it. He plays Angus. I also did a recent miniseries called Kids of Appalachia, and that's on Scott's channel. I was the guest DM for that, and I also was a recent guest DM on Girls Run These Worlds. I did the recent Fae Fiasco one-shot for their holiday stuff. And that's me, and I'm going to be on this stream. All right,
very, very nice.
I'm good now.
I mean, you say you're a youngin', but I mean, there are 12-year-olds working in the mines right now.
It's true. Thea is a youngin' in her own mind.
All right. Zebediah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Blake. You can find me some places like Francis and some other streams and things like that. So, more importantly, you can also see me on ZealZaddy's Discord. And so, between the pot here, if you add me on in that Discord, I'll give you the deets on what my character thinks about these lovely characters that we're going to play with today. So, just if you want to know some little deets, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm playing tonight as Zebediah Allen. He's a young man just trying to find out a few things. Apparently, there's more to the lore of the Bible than he was expecting. Spirits may actually be real, but never mind that. He likes telling stories about funner things than that. So but yeah, he's just here trying to find the Lord and maybe tell good tales here and there too.
All right, and finally, the oldest gentleman in this group, one of the oldest people in the town, of course, is Gus.
You talk about youngins. Everybody in this stream is youngins compared to me. Hey everybody, I'm Michael. You can find me at RoboSardy on socials. This is probably the most bright and happiest that I'm gonna be during the stream, as in game I'll be playing Angus Bell. He's an old miner who has lived here longer than anybody else in this God's forsaken stream.
Well, we are going to jump right into the life of Thea, currently staying at the Presbyterian Church and taking care of work. It is early morning. The sun is not even up yet. And you are awakened by the pastor. She comes in and nudges you gently. All right, time to get up. I'm not doing no gentle nudging more than once.
Okay.
You got chores ahead of you. It is a cold day, and we need the wood brought in. After that, I need you to go down to the creek and get some water. We need to get the grits going. It is going to be full today because it is snowy outside. And you feel, when she says snowy outside, you feel the cold almost suddenly appear from nowhere in the room.
Okay, yeah. Thea looks disheveled. Like she hasn't slept well for a number of days. And she sort of fumbles around getting her coat on. And it's a nice, like, overcoat that would you would expect, like, someone from an affluent family to be wearing. And then she teeters outside and shudders in the cold, then goes, so she's going to go and, is there cut wood? Wood cut?
Yeah, there's cut wood, but you still got to bring it in. It is no easy chore to bring all that wood in.
Okay, well, Thea is not strong, so she's just going to take like 2 logs at a time, do several trips in and out into the freezing cold, and then put it by the fire. And
when you bring that in, of course, you almost immediately hear snickering behind your back. You got to be kidding me, right? Thea? You know there's a carrier right there for carrying more than that. It's you ain't gonna ever get done like that. There are more chores to do, and you got to pay your dues. That's the Lord's requirement,
Oh right, of course. I'll use the carrier, and then I go back and I look for this.
You may want both.
Thing.
You may want both of them since it'll make it faster if you carry it in 2 hands. If you carry 2 loads.
Right, 2 loads. 2 loads.
At a time.
Cool. Oh, not cool. It's like, definitely 2. I could definitely do 2 loads. And
I will say your mama is going to appreciate what you become when you return home. You know that, right? Like, you will be a better person by the time you're done here.
She just has a look on her face. Of course. And she just goes out back into the cold, looks for this mysterious carrier thing, tries not to cry, and starts putting logs onto it. And she probably loads it wrong because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah, probably all wrong. You get your load in again, and says, you should put the wood this way so it will hold more. And you realize, even the way you did it, when you didn't have the more she's speaking of, it was really heavy.
I'm just like, this is still heavy.
Come on. Get on, girl. I got to get those grits on.
Yep, she goes, do I need more wood?
And when you go out, you see, you do another load, and it looks a little bit more respectable, the load you're doing, although they are much more disrespectful to your muscles. But you do eventually go out and see the sun start to crack the edge of the horizon, and a fog rolls in from the mountains. Not an uncommon sight here in Guilty Hole. The fog is almost a wintry friend around these parts, since you're in a valley between 2 mountains.
Yeah, I just gaze at the sun for a minute.
And as you're doing that, a bird falls out of the sky. A little chickadee, a little tiny bird. Smaller than the palm of your hand.
Just plumb falls out of the sky.
Just falls out of the sky like a ball on the ground. And it twitches for a moment, and then it is dead.
I'm going to scoot over there and check this dead bird out, I suppose. See what killed it.
And then you hear the sound of something falling from the sky a little further from you. And you see in the snow, there is another bird has fallen out of the sky. This time a cardinal, a gray one. So it's a female. Oddly, the females aren't the pretty ones in cardinals.
Oh, I'm going to... Well, I don't want to touch these things, so I'm just going to nudge it with my foot and go...
It is not moving. make me a perception roll. So you're going to roll a d20, and you are going against a level 2, so you need to roll above a 6, so a 7 or higher.
Is that do I add intellect to these? Do I add in?
The flat roll.
Yeah, it's a flat.
Just flat roll? That's a 15.
All right, so as you're doing this, the fog is rolling in, and you see another couple of birds fall out of the sky in the direction you're looking, which you know is the direction to the town. And there is something in the fog, kind of up in the air, floating like a balloon almost, and kind of going through the fog in an unnaturally straight path. You almost wonder if it's an aeroplane, because you ain't never seen no aeroplane, but you've heard automobiles, and aeroplanes have one of those motor things, so you thought you'd hear a noise. Maybe a balloon? You may not have ever seen a real balloon. Maybe you have. You had some money behind you at one point. You may have seen a balloon.
I might have seen a balloon at some point. Huh. Can I, well, I look back and, what other chores do I need to do?
One more or two more loads of wood, and then you got to go get the water from the creek.
Okay. I'm gonna go and put a load of wood into the fire, and then come out and grab the buckets for water. And is the balloon thing still there?
No, it has moved wherever it's going. It looked like it was in the direction of town, kind of like where the birds were dropping.
I'm gonna go get my bucket of water first.
Oh no, it's a shoulder bar and 2 buckets.
I'm gonna haul this. I'm gonna attempt to put the shoulder bar on my body, and she'll lean to one side and then the other, and then a bucket will fall off, so she has to go put it back on, and then try to put it on again. And then finally has it okay.
And you get the water inside, and the pastor comes over. Thank you for getting all these chores done. The Lord is appreciative of all this effort. I know it is very hard on you. I'm going to give you an easy chore now to kind of ease your shoulders for a moment. Can you run into town, go to the general store? I am plumb out of butter, and we cannot have grits without butter.
Yeah?
We will have angry folk around here.
Of course, Pastor, I'll go get the butter.
Yeah, get me 1 pound.
How does money work for them? Does she know?
She gives you a couple of coins.
Okay. I pocket that.
You understand the concept of money, just not the levels of value of things that money buys.
Mm-hmm. I pocket that, and I start, and I'll take my doctor bag with me, and I'll go into town.
All right, we are going to jump to town while you are walking. So the morning is cold, and there's a foot-deep blanket of snow across the town of Guilty Hole. The river and ponds are frozen over early this time, so you know it's going to be a cold winter. It's a quiet day, the rare one where no train is scheduled to arrive or leave. Short of the coal mine trains, of course, up on the hill, and the sawmill trains run into the river, although they may not even be running today with the river frozen. There's a deep gray fog that is stubbornly set into the town, and it is a thick one. The first bird sounds heard is a rat-a-tat-tat of a little peckerwood in the distance. Cardinals and chickadees also begin to flit about, adding their song, looking for exposed seeds or whatever people might drop or offer them up. And then the sawmill whistle breaks the ambiance, but it's far away and barely a disturbance this far out. Ashley, you're awake because you're always awake this time of the morning. You're standing over the rails in the station, looking back into town. Of course, you see the fog is filled out. And you see, as usual, lamplights in the distance, not clear and distinct, but little hallowed beacons in the fog as people awaken and prepare for work or school. And standing at the intersection, you see a figure. You don't have to see it to know who it is. That is Gus, always up early and before everyone else, standing at the intersection where he keeps an eye on the passersby as they head to work, make sure they all get in or get out or whatever it is they need to do. And you can't see him in particular, but you know, it's always him this early. And then somebody is stumbling. Gus, you see one of the workers stumbling down that like they've been drinking.
Yeah, I would wander up, pick him up by his shoulder.
Oh, Gus, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Gus. I'm on my way. I'll not be late. I'm early today.
What's that smell on you?
It is what you think it is, but I'm working that off at the moment. I was gonna go get some water when I got to the mine, and I hear that's supposed to help out. Or maybe hair of the dog. Maybe they have that. Well, no, water, I mean.
You best be hydrating before getting your work done.
My apologies. And even though you're a curmudgeon, you are respected as an elder in this town, so people do treat you with the level of respect somebody of your age has earned.
Now don't have me catch you drinking on the job again. You hear?
All right, I won't get caught.
That's more like it.
When you look back, you see that Ashley is standing over by the railroad tracks looking into town, and she's seeing you. The fog is a little less clear, or less thick up there. She's a little higher up than the rest of y'all. She's up on the railroad tracks. She is almost always there, just like you are almost always here. It is just the way of things at this intersection. Yes, I'm sorry. Albie, you do then see
Yes.
Albie heading to work at Brooms. Poor man, really, missed the opportunity he wanted. He's crossing over the decks in front of some of the small businesses that are here. And passing the sheriff's office, Albie, you look inside and you see Sheriff Nota sleeping in her chair, arms folded, feet up next to a warm potbelly stove, pistol and her badge sitting on the desk. And how do you feel about that?
I think Albie would stop for a minute and look in there, just kind of shake his head, pull out a cigarette, light it up right outside the door. Do I see Gus out in the street?
Yeah, Gus, you see him looking in the window at Sheriff Nota, taking her morning nap that she takes, if not every morning, almost every morning.
Must be nice, huh? And I point over at the sheriff as I'm talking to Gus.
Gus, this sheriff is basically a layabout do nothing. Nothing ever happens around here. So the sheriff kind of got soft.
Yeah, it seems like them youngins are getting older and older with the fool away. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hey, you want some? It's a good way to start the morning.
Best way. And take a swig. As I look up at the guy that I helped out earlier.
Well, I'd love to stay and talk, Gus, but I gotta head into my job and try to do something good.
Yeah, your job is mostly the same job as Gus is doing, which is making sure people get to work. But you do have to check in, and you don't want to miss that part, because not getting paid for a day's work is just not a good way to go.
The difference is people like Gus, because he just checks, make sure, okay, my job is to find out why they ain't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Gus. I'll be seeing you.
Gabriel, you are sleeping with embers still in the iron furnace. Ugh. Warm and snug. But you feel the cold outside trying its best to wrest the blanket from around you. Does it have any success, or do you keep that blanket wrapped? You've nowhere to go today.
1 second. I'm thinking about something real quick. I think that after a moment of just struggling with it, I just sigh, realizing that if I stay asleep, the dreams will come back. And that's a different kind of waking up. And not one that I really want to deal with right now. So with a sigh, I cast off the blanket, get myself up, go over to my chest of drawer, toss on some clothing and make my way downstairs, see if anyone else in the Crow household is awake.
And while you're getting your clothes on, you see the fog through the window. It's like that. It reminds you though of Europe. Except the fog there, although gray, was not
Natural.
fog so much, it was more smoke.
Yeah.
If you were lucky, it was smoke. And you kind of remember the mounds of bodies being dangerously retrieved by your soldiers or somebody's soldiers if it weren't yours. Respect for the dead is important, even in your own command. In your hand, is the command, of course, that 30 soldiers, men and women, over the hill at dawn. You look around, there's no sunset yet. There's no sun up yet, I mean.
Do I see anything in the smoke? In the fog?
You do. You see your soldiers, your troops starting to stir, thinking about the watery tea and the hard biscuits. Likely, today, their last meal. And it's weighing on you, of course, because commanding youngins, I say youngins, but you know they're a year or two younger than you.
Was.
But the order is clear, and you look at it again, and it's a smudge in the form, and there's a smudge on it in the form of an inky face. Do you recognize the face?
I think I do. I think when I'm looking at it, I see my cousin, who we're still not sure what happened to him. But that's not right, because I don't know if we don't know what's happened to him yet.
You do hear a siren go off, though. And that ain't never good.
I shoot over, and my head shoots up looking around, trying to figure out where exactly it's going on, where exactly the danger is, what it is that's been calling out.
And while you're looking around, you hear the sound you've been lamenting. The sound of an aeroplane in the sky. And you have learned in your time that anytime there is one, there will be more. And on the worst days, there is also a Zeppelin bringing the bombs.
Does the location we're at have any emplacements to help deal with aircraft?
You have some cover over some of the trenches where your troops are. They tuck down in those things, and they are cut at angles so they can, if one group is hit, the shrapnel doesn't hit all of them running down the line. But luckily, at this point, you know that the aeroplanes, their little bombs, are not particularly accurate. But do they need to be when they're dropping them on 40, 50 people at a time in one big mass? So what are you going to do about that?
I start calling out for everyone to duck and cover, duck and cover. Get y'all hid.
And some of your troops start moving about, trying to shuffle, and get one or two of them even grab tea and biscuits, hoping they can carry those into wherever they're going to duck and cover. And then you see, just on the horizon, the sun breaks It's a golden saber running the edge of the earth. And in that you see what is a big fat cross, the front of a Zeppelin. And coming behind that, one or two more a little further away. They're smaller.
Lord in heaven preserve us all. I'm assuming I have some sort of pigeon or something to dispatch back to command from where I'm at.
Of course, of course.
I grab the alert and I send it right on its way.
And you are running to get to there, and you hear a bomb in the distance go off. And suddenly you find yourself falling down the stairs, waking up, realizing you were in the middle of a dream, and you are hitting your head and your bones and your body a full flight, and others come running up the stairs. We heard you yelling. You all right? You
I'm all right. I'm all right. Give me a moment. Am I dressed still? Was I able to dress myself before I went?
You are partially dressed.
Weirdly,
you are partially dressed in uniform.
I look at the uniform I'm wearing, knowing that I put it away in the chest. Yeah. And my hands shake for a moment as I take a breath. I'm all right. Give me just a moment. Which of my 30 bajillion siblings is it that's coming and checking on?
They are all slowly making their way into the hallway.
All right.
You have a lump on your head that is sore.
I look around. Nathaniel, I'm fine. I'm assuming Nathaniel's one of the first ones.
Yes.
I'm fine. Keep everyone. It's all right. Give me a second. Help me up. I say because I'm assuming I'm sort of in a knot at the bottom of the steps right now.
You are.
I hold a hand out for him to help me.
The stairs in 1918 were nowhere near as wide as the stairs now.
Right. I need a little bit of assistance. Give me a hand.
He helps you up.
I start unbuttoning the jacket, my fingers shaking a little bit.
Nathaniel
I'm fine.
Reaches over and helps unbutton them and take that off. You should not be.
I slap his hand away. Oh. I'm fine.
Okay.
Just ain't no need to tell Mom. I'm gonna go get myself properly sorted.
Right.
I will see you at breakfast.
All right. I'll see you in a few.
And I make my way back up. I take everything off and put everything away. I dress, and looking at my chest, I look at my service sidearm, and not liking myself as I do it, but needing it almost like a safety blanket. I reach for the worn handle of the 1911, slip it into the back holster that I picked up on my way home from New York, and put my vest back on, perfectly hidden, and make my way down to breakfast.
And Zebediah, you are starting to feel the cold seeping through the window. Your little stove has already gone out at some point in the early parts of the morning. You hear the birds.
Then I'll definitely will.
And then you see a bird drop in front of the window, and it didn't hit the window. It just sort of, like, you've seen birds fly into a window by accident before, and sometimes injure themselves, sometimes not. But this one hit no window. It just fell.
Ooh, I'm going to say, Lord, protect me, and I'm going to go, because I don't think it's a good sign. I'm going to go see if I take a look at the bird.
All right. And you step out onto the deck, and there is a bird there. And as you're looking, it is a little chickadee or a sparrow, one of those small birds. And as you're looking, its little leg twitches a little bit, and then it twitches again, and then you see the weight of its soul, if they have souls. Question in your mind that you've probably had in the past. Leave it and its beak not only falls flat, but it sinks into the snow as if it has given up.
I'm gonna kneel down next to it, say a prayer for it, because I've had, like I said, I've had discussions about how we're not to have souls, and you know what, today's the day that I feel like I do. So I'm gonna say a little prayer for it and give it a burial, since I help out around the graves anyways. I give him a little special burial just for it, and yeah.
And when you go to pick it up, you hear the thump of another bird that has fallen from the sky a little ahead of where you are now. And when you look up to there, you see something is moving through the fog, almost like a balloon, but straight. And then you realize you think it's actually a girl. And that don't seem right. Arms wide, like Jesus would have been on the cross even, but upside down.
The girl's upside down? Like I'm seeing like an upside down person?
Yes. I'm
going to grab the wooden cross I used to carry, just kind of like wear around my neck, and just all right, I'm gonna walk up to this girl. And
well, she's moving a little faster than you can just walk to and catch.
All right. I'll yell out to her then, excuse me, miss, do you
and she
you need some help?
Fades into the fog. You can tell she is heading in the direction of town, and goes over a creek that is frozen over at this point.
I'm going to take off after her if I can.
And when you start moving, you see there is not far up ahead of you, you see another girl walking, heading toward town too. You know there's a bridge up ahead that you got to cross, and most people heading to town on this side of the town at least cross that bridge. And
more to miss. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was gonna say more to miss. Sorry. Did you happen to see some? Because he knows that he might be seeing something that might not be able to see, but he's still gonna ask. Hey, did you see someone go by a second ago? Kind of weird like.
And Thea, some gentleman begins talking to you in the street, asking you if you'd seen someone go by.
Something like what?
Like kind of really, really, really weird. Like I'm sorry, but by the way, my name is ZealZaddy. Sorry, nice to meet you. By the way,
Thea.
Yeah.
Okay. Theodora, but you call me Thea.
Okay, whichever way you prefer. Whichever way you prefer is fine.
Well, I did see some fog thing floating on by. Strange thing was that some two birds just dropped right out of the sky.
Wait, you saw? You saw two birds too? Oh, that's okay. Did they happen to be
You also saw two birds fall out of the sky.
Well, I saw them land. I didn't necessarily see them fall, but I heard the thump and seen their bodies. Wow, that's
Was it a cardinal?
Was it a cardinal? I forget already.
It was not. It was a sparrow,
I don't think it was, no.
or a chickadee, or one of those little tiny birds.
Well, what about a chickadee?
It was.
What was chickadee?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like a chickadee. I'm not the well versed when it comes to animals and things like that, but I think it was a chickadee. That's a little bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, I did see this strange fog, and I don't know, maybe it was some kind of blimp. If you ever seen one of them, it's like a zeppelin.
I've heard of them. That's what you saw that?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I've heard about flying things, and maybe that was it, but not sure. Not real sure what I saw. Certainly was strange, though.
That I agree with you. Definitely strange. And do I notice that you're carrying something like you are you assuming you're carrying the are you still carrying
I
anything
don't
or
have that now. She is just in her overcoat. I was going into town to get the butter, so like
Gotcha.
she just
Okay.
has her hands like in her pocket.
You don't have the medicine bag? I thought you had your medicine bag.
I have my medicine bag. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I do have my doctor bag. Yeah.
Well, and is
Are
is
you-
the town is going to town the same direction that the thing was going, or is that just kind of
Yes.
going okay?
Same direction.
Okay. If you don't mind, Miss, or sorry, they have whatever you prefer. I'm sorry. I haven't met someone like you in a minute. Yep. If you don't mind, I'll walk with you. I'm in that direction. That's where I kind of seen it going. Do you mind if I walk with you towards town?
Of course not. You're free to come, go as you please.
All right. Sounds good. Hopefully, you don't want to anything anything else so weird like, but maybe.
And a bird falls out of the sky and a little ahead of you near the bridge. Little
Thea
peckerwood
looks
this
at
time.
you briefly and then goes, "Well, I'm gonna go look at it." And then she just like runs over to it.
Say a prayer, and I kind of walk after her. Say a quick prayer. All right.
I look. I go over to the bird and I study. Can I study it to try to figure out like how it died? Does it look like anything broke it? Does it look like
No, it does not look broken. It does not look like it was diseased. It just looked like it fell out of the sky, dead. Gabriel,
kill
as
a
you were,
bird?
or not Gabriel, I mean, yeah, Gabriel. You see a couple people over by the bridge looking at something as you're heading out finally. And something moves through the fog very quickly, just in the periphery of your eyesight.
Is it something that shan't be?
Is it what?
Is it something that shan't be? Something that shouldn't be?
Oh, it moved in a way that looked unnatural.
I purposefully ignore it as I make my way on over to the two individuals who are looking by the bridge. Dressing myself up. I have my long walking coat on. Make my way over, nice and warm.
Well, you know Zebediah.
Yeah.
Zebediah?
Thea, you don't
You wanna
know.
date?
The girl, you don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Gabe.
Would I have known the woods with my family being my family?
Would you know the woods? Yeah, you know
Yeah.
the woods fairly well, or would have 4 years ago.
Would have, right, before
I mean,
everything happened.
We ran around as kids all over the place, remember?
Right,
Yeah,
right,
of course.
right. So, Zebediah, who, Miss, I don't believe I have catch your name. I am Lieutenant Gabriel Henry Crow, and may I please have the pleasure of having yours?
Theodora. No, Theodosia. Sorry. That was just Tiffany messing up. She wouldn't mess up on her own name. Theodosia.
fine. Miss Theodosia, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I'm looking and seeing what we're looking at. Really, that's a shame for a little chickadee.
Yeah,
Just
having
fell
some
right out of the
strange
sky.
weather. Yeah, it looks like some strange weather we're having these days.
We raining dead birds.
Thanks.
Oh my
And
God,
as
the
you
best
say
bird,
that,
it's
you
the
see-
fifth bird we've seen dead.
As you say that, looking back, you see there's another bird's, behind where they were it's just laying on the ground too. Maybe it had died recently. It is sitting on the top of the snow, so it ain't that old.
Well, I believe that might be the case. If I might make a suggestion, since we all seem to be townward bound, might I suggest a bit of haste in our motions towards that direction?
More company, the better, and always well to have someone like you around because you definitely are. Yeah. I feel a lot safer with you around with us too. So
I appreciate that, Zebediah. I have always found your companionship to be quite amicable as well.
thank you. I appreciate that too. All right.
Later.
Before we're going, let's say a quick prayer first, just to keep us safe. Lord, please watch over us because there's something's happening. We just look to you to keep us safe and for guidance as we head on to town. Amen.
Back in town, Albie, you check in, sign in, and you were given a sheet and said you need to just check the intersection, make sure these people show up. If they do not, you have permission to go drag them out of their bed and get them to work. And you have a list of 2 or 3 people.
All right.
One thing you have learned, though, is the best way of checking on people is first to ask Gus if they've already passed.
Yeah.
And then deal with other things.
That's exactly where I was about to head. So I make sure I grab my overcoat, put that on, put on my hat. We're going back outside in that weather. Take a nice little swig of my flask. And then I step outside. I go look for Gus.
Gus is 20 feet ahead of you, standing in the intersection, curmudgeoning people as they walk, already feeling like they're going to be late because the sun has already hit the horizon. So
Come on, get.
Gus.
Because the weather's airish doesn't mean you have to be.
I chuckle a little bit as I walk up at Gus.
Hey, LB.
I wanted to check with you before I start looking. Have these individuals come through? And I hand you the list of names.
Do I recognize?
oh yeah, you recognize every name on the list, and one of
particularly if they've walked by.
yeah, 2 of them have walked by already. One of them is a layabout and is always late. One of them is not normally late, but occasionally.
Well, I know this one ends up being a little bit late, so how about I'll stay out here with you, joke a little, and keep an eye on them. And if they don't come by the time that this one usually shows up, you know what I mean? Then I'll start doing my rounds to figure out where they went.
For the one that's like late, is he like usually late?
No, but occasionally.
Just
He's got a
okay.
sick mama who sometimes needs, a little bit extra time in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
She worked the mines for 30 odd years and has the black lung, so sometimes those folk need a little bit more time to get started, or their children do when their children are the ones helping them get the day going.
Yeah, we can wait a few and then we'll head on over and give them some hospitality.
And Ashley, you see the 2 of them chatting each other up, and you see something kind of in the distance moving in the fog. And it sort of moves through and then fades into the fog, and you kind of think it looked like a person, but of course people do not float through the air. That makes no sense at all.
I sort of take a gander in that direction, thumbing at the chain of my pocket watch. But nope, don't trust that at all. Don't go chasing any kind of things like that. I look back over at Albie and Gus and make my way.
And
What are y'all fussing over here?
And as you're walking over, in between, you're 10 feet away from them, a bird drops out of the sky between the 3 of you. It is a little blue bird, dead, unharmed in other ways. No wounds, nothing you can recognize, but just dead.
That there chickadee just plumb out of the sky. I'm just gonna palm it with my cracked, overworked hands and just look at it, inspect it closely, because my eyes aren't what they used to be.
What the hell just happened there? Gus, you've been around a lot. Not Gus. Yeah, Gus.
Yeah,
Gus,
no, I've
you've
been around.
a lot. Been around a lot longer than the rest of us. Have you seen something like that happen before? I mean, overseas, I saw it when they dropped the gas. Sometimes it would rise up and kill some of the birds, but I haven't seen
I've
that
seen
here.
a chickadee kill itself in a window, but never seen one plumb straight out of the sky. And I just kind of let it roll out of my fingers and just plop down onto the floor.
Ashley, By the way, what would you like a sip?
Let's not be fooling around with that this early.
It'll keep you warm.
And
I promised Seb I wouldn't do that.
Down the street, you see Gabriel and Zebediah and some other figure coming towards y'all. Towards yous, not y'all. What? Am I from South Carolina or something?
Now, my question is, have I seen my friend since he's returned? Is this the first time I'm seeing him?
How long have I been back?
You've been back 3-4 weeks.
3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
We probably run into each other.
We've run into each other at least a few times.
Yeah, but it's been, even then has been just weird. Nobody wants to talk about what happened, but that's all you got to talk about for the last 4 years. So it's weird silences, uncomfortable silences, even when together.
Well, usually I think we mostly focus on the before and leading right up to before things got bad. And we just, when it get to that point, then we usually just start drinking. We stop talking and we start drinking.
Right. We ain't thrown hands over it yet, but
no. There's a little tension, I think.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And they all walking up?
Yeah, they're walking towards y'all. Towards yous.
Oh. Zeb.
Morning.
How y'all doing?
What happened?
Preacher.
Y'all see
Doing
this?
well.
I point to the bird in Gus's hand. Y'all see this?
Yeah, we seen. Well, I think all of us now have seen a couple of dead birds this morning. I woke up to it, and I don't know if you have met Theodosia yet, but if you guys want to, maybe make your acquaintance, I just bumped into her this morning.
Oh.
How you doing there?
I know you.
Oh, we talking?
Wooden.
Oh, Theodosia. Morning.
Gus, you know
visibly
that
uncomfortable.
Yeah, Gus, you know that the Woodens, they're one of the wealthy families in town. They are some of the owners. I mean, they're a huge family, but the elders of the family are two of the owners of the sawmill.
Yeah, she's from one of the families with breeches with deep pockets. You know what I mean?
Theodosia? Was it Theodosia?
Yes, Theodosia.
Theodosia.
Oh, Gus. Who don't you know, Gus? Man, you know everybody.
I did think you looked familiar.
Yeah. Gabe, I almost didn't see you there.
Howdy, how you doing today, sir?
Good.
Good. Keep it warm in this?
Staying warm. And then I hand you the flask.
I reach in and I pull a flask of moonshine out of my pocket and we trade flasks real quick and each take a shot.
Yeah.
I look towards Zeb and I'm like, good preacher.
Yes.
Does anything in the book says anything about this? Is this the second coming? Or are these birds just sick?
Well, and I think I would know. So, I mean, it's not, at least it's not a toad or nothing like that. So, I don't.
Not unless it's a plague.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I think it's definitely. I had a strange sight this morning that I think it may be. Now go with me here. I think it may be some spiritual might be going on here. So I know sounds a little out there, but hear me out. I mean, did any of you see anything weird this morning?
Preacher, this is Zebediah. If I might be so bold as to say, as someone from these hills, sometimes there are things that when we speak about, we draw attentions to ourselves that we should not be drawing attention to. My suggestion, we have such conversations, we might do it in a place of a bit more discrepancy and with the protection of your god.
You saying these birds that plummet out of the skies are boogers? These boogers coming straight out of the grave. Is that what you're saying, preacher?
I'm not saying no, but I think it's definitely something we need to look into more. So not yes, not no. We'll something you can definitely and like Gabriel said, maybe we can go somewhere a little
More
quieter
private,
to
a little
speak.
more protected.
Ashley,
Where do y'all wanna-
is the
where do y'all wanna
conversation?
meet?
Oh, sorry.
Where do y'all want to meet to have this conversation later? Right now, I have some work to do. And me and Gus are looking for some people, but
Yeah, we need to follow up. It's been long enough.
And Ashley, you notice that the fog is starting to clear a little bit now. You've been conversing for a bit of time here, and the town is kind of wrapped around a big green area. Normally, now it's just a white area full of snow, and the homes kind of wrap around that area, almost like a center courtyard of the town. And dead center, there is something floating in the sky, dead still, 30 feet up or so in the air. And the more you look, the more you think it's a girl upside down.
And I start like tugging at Albie on the shoulder, be like, "You hasn't seen that?" And I point in the direction.
do I
Yonder
see-
there.
You do see it.
I also look in
All
that
right.
direction.
And you see it
Yeah,
also.
without looking away, I start making everybody else look too.
And then suddenly you hear someone scream there's a kid out in the field. A couple of them were crossing over, and they are seeing us, and they scream.
What's that there? Is that a panther?
I instinctively
There
reach
ain't no
for my
pain.
gun, but I don't pull it out. I just kind of put my hand on it, like resting on my firearm.
It's a good couple hundred yards away though, so
Yeah, I'm not firing. It's just more of like seeing something like this just kind of makes me feel uncomfortable, on the edge. So
Right.
That's what I saw this morning. That's exactly what I was. Yeah.
Albie, I think you got the right idea. I think we gotta withhold our hospitality and figure out this whole gommed up situation.
But may not need
Is
to
other-
come towards violence, though. I mean, we could. Let's just see. Let's keep an open mind and kind of.
Thea is already walking towards it.
Yeah,
how far
Ashley
away
is
is
as well.
Thea, as you are walking towards it, it dawns on you as you get a little closer that you recognize the green dress that is being worn. It is
Where?
Alexandra's dress. Your younger sister's dress.
Oh. Do I have a nickname for her, like Lexi or something?
Yeah. Whatever you want it to be.
Lexi?
She
Lexi?
is still in the air as if she was held up by a platform or something, but she's 30
How high
feet
up
up.
in the air?
And as you're getting closer, you realize there are birds all over around this that have fallen from the sky.
I think Albie would catch up to you and ask you, like, you recognize that?
Well,
No?
Ashley was up ahead of you two. They
Yeah.
Ashley and Thea, the two of them were up ahead of everyone else. I guess Albie, you're catching up now.
I would jog up to catch up. That's what I'm saying. Like,
As you're
you
walking, you
recognize
see
them?
there are birds all over in the snow out here. The fog is clearing from above down. That's how it clears. So you're seeing more clearly above than you are the ground, but there are birds all over. And there are two kids screaming, one of them crying at seeing this.
Theodosius, you recognize that young lady?
It's my kid sister. That's
What's her name?
Alex. What did you say, Alexa or Alexandra?
Yeah, Alexandra. She's 14.
Alexandra.
Alexandra.
What's her full name?
Alexandra Woody.
I'd be turning to the kids and telling them, "You kids, get on, get home, get inside."
And they They take a moment and
Get going.
then they run.
You best listen as I'm like following up last with like my heavy rifle.
And
It's
the
just
kids
like
run.
cocking it.
They don't just run; they run away. Not only away from this, but away from Gus too.
Can I like pack a snowball and throw it at
Hold
Lexi?
Hold on.
Let's not. No.
Let's not be rash. As I
I grab. I grab.
I threw the snowball at Angus.
I grab the rifle, pulling the rifle down. Angus, the hell you doing?
I can't believe I'm about to do this. I take a swig. I don't know if this is going to work, Scott, because I don't know what we're dealing with here. But I'm going to spend 2 intelligence points to do question the spirits. And since I have the full name of this spirit, even though I don't know them, I can try to reach out if it is a spirit.
All right. Before we get to that, Thea was throwing a snowball.
Well, I tried to stop her. I don't know if she was still doing it, but I was trying to
she's
stop
throwing
her.
a snowball at me. As
Yeah.
As
Threw up a gun at my sister. Yeah.
Right.
that thing ain't right. Gabe is like,
Yanks it down. What the hell wrong with you?
Oh, if you're throwing a snowball at Gus because he's aiming a gun, I'm going to make that an automatic hit. It just needs to hit.
Right.
I look all wild eye at the.
What do you think you're doing, shooting at children?
That you calling that children? That's a
Albie, you get up there
booger.
and
Booger, all right.
can you, for those in chat, can you explain your ability?
Well, Albie fears no haints, and my tier 1 ability is question the spirits. You can call a spirit and petition it to answer a few questions, usually no more than 3 before they go off. You must summon the spirit if it's a spirit you know personally. Then there's really no issue, but you must have an object that was owned by the creature or touch the physical remains of a creature. For other spirits, you must know the spirit's full name or have great detail of an element. So you just told me the spirit's full name. So
And you have her blood sister there next to you too.
yeah. So
All right.
I don't know if it is a spirit, but I'm attempting, and I hate.
Does it
even doing
require
this.
touch? Or
Not
just-
of the spirit, no.
Right.
And the name, and I put my hand on Thea, as in like the blood related sister to this. If it is that
So
spirit.
when you do this, your eyes roll into your head, and you just see your eyeballs become just white. Can you make me a roll, please, before this is so it's against intelligence.
Against intelligence?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Let me see here. I'm trying to see here. I have mystical sense and hedge magic. I don't know if any of that stuff has anything to do with it to give me advantages, but I rolled a 15.
15. You find yourself face to face with someone you don't recognize looking directly at you, and your hands are on their shoulder and their hands are on your shoulder. What can I do for you?
Are you Thea's sister?
I own the sister at this moment. That's your first question, just so you know. I see you. I can see you have seen a lot of death, have you not?
That's your first question.
I can ask whatever I want. This is on you, not me.
You? What are you doing here?
I have gone through Oblitos, and I have this.
What?
He said, I have oblitos and have gone.
Oblitos. Okay.
Oblitos.
Oblitos.
And I have this. Whoa, you have seen some very gruesome deaths. How are you handling that? I can see in your eyes that you are not handling it well. I can even see it in your body when you shake wrong, and some of your friends may not see it because they're a little too close. And this thing looks around, and you see your friends standing around there, sort of like they're ghosts, like they're boogers. They ain't seen death like you seen. Well, wait a minute, that one has, and it's looking at Gabriel.
I look at Gabe too. What do you want from us? What are you here for?
You and I, we'll talk again. I know that. What am I here for? I'm here for the duration.
We talking again.
And then your eyes roll back and you see everyone in front of you, and everyone's kind of looking at you, and you realize his eyes rolled back in his head, and his body was shaking, and he was talking sort of gibberish words, kind of muffly, and like someone stuffed a sock in his mouth before he was talking.
Albie, are you sure you ain't a preacher? Yeah, sounds like you speaking in tongues.
You guys see Albie, as you guys are talking to him, he just pulls out some pills, pops them, and then takes a swig.
What are you taking?
What he needs to.
Pain medicine. I got a headache.
Oh,
And you
Zebediah, anything you can do about this? I don't like a girl floating up.
It's not your sister. That's not your sister. It's something says it has your
Well, it
sister.
looks like my sister.
Yeah, it looks like
It's
your
something
sister.
else.
And other people from around town are starting to see this and starting to come towards, not the children folk so much as grown-ups. What were you going to say, Ashley?
I was just asking if Zebediah could do anything.
Oh.
Can't have a little girl floating up there.
Yeah, Thea, one thing you notice from your little bit of reading about medicine and wanting to become a doctor someday is that when the fingertips start to go kind of dark blue-gray, that is not a good sign. Gus knows that too, that is the beginning signs of frostbite, which is, it can end up with you losing fingers and toes, and if it gets bad enough,
on
hands and
Alexander?
feet.
We gotta get her inside. You're gonna lose her toes.
You got a way of getting her down from up there?
Well, I suppose we're gonna have to rope her down because no one else has any ideas.
Hold
Listen,
on,
that ain't
hold
your
on.
sister.
Lil.
Let me.
That is a
let-
spirit. That's a haint, and it has your sister.
Let
I
me
don't
try
care
something
like my
real
sister.
quick.
We gotta get her indoors.
Let me. So, what I would like to do, some of my own stuff for my own skill, I like to do an applied observation, and I was wanting to do this while Albie was doing his thing, but unfortunately I didn't get the chance to get the words in edgewise to do so. You're good. You're good. So I'm gonna spend 2 of my own intellect points, and for the people at home, that allows Gabriel to observe and see creature, object, or location for at least 1 round. The next time that Gabriel would interact with it, I have eased that interaction.
All right, so you are studying.
Correct. I'm doing the one thing my auntie Pavardi always told me not to do, and that's study it.
What are the rest of y'all doing as you see people from the town starting to gather in the field here?
As Thea's yapping, I'm like, hold your britches, and I like reach into my pack and I like pull out some rope. And I'm like,
Finally.
and I'm like, she's She's all about
30 feet in the air?
Yeah.
I gotta see this.
Not sure how much rope will do against a booger, but I guess we'll see. So I'm just gonna tie a loop and just try to lasso her down, I guess.
30
Yes.
feet.
I don't have.
So you got about 50 foot of rope there.
Yes, sir.
She's 30 feet up. When it
My
comes
word.
down on the other side, it is 10 feet in the air on the other side of the rope.
Yeah, I have.
But I'll say
well-
after enough tries, it does kind of fall over her arm, which is out like in an upside down Jesus pose.
Hmm.
I look at Zev.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, look. She has a physical body.
And you see someone coming from one of the town folk is coming with a ladder.
All right, stop your yapping and help me pull.
Keep that rope on. We'll get the other side with the ladder.
Albie, what did you see?
Something in her.
I understand that. I need more details. What did you see?
And I'll tell you what it said to me. All the words it said to me.
With the training from my aunt, does the word oublet mean anything to me?
It is not a word you have heard.
Okay.
How do you spell that, by the way? I was trying to write it down.
It is spelled. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, it's obscene. I'm sorry, it's obsido. So it's OBS IDO.
Okay. Obsido. Okay, that's a different thing. Okay.
Yeah, Obsido. I don't know.
Okay.
It says in it, and I said they're here for the duration. But they can see all of us. They can see what you and I've seen. And it made sure to let me know. that I can see.
Zebediah,
Yes.
you believe what you preach?
Now I do, yes. Nowadays, yeah.
I think when you say now, you
Yeah,
think Albie
thanks.
looks over at
So-
you. Now you believe.
So,
Well, I believe we might need your help to get this poor girl down and into a right state again.
I can definitely, I can definitely try. I mean, Albie, were you just speaking to a spirit there? I mean, you have
A
that same
haint.
kind of look I've seen before in a haint spirit. I mean,
I'll
all
explain
right.
it to you. Zeb, I'll tell you later. Let's get this through. It must be
Okay.
like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Looking over at
You ain't
no,
crazy.
you definitely are.
You ain't crazy.
I'm attempting to help Angus,
I'm good.
but I'm probably
Yeah.
useless.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm there helping Angus.
Okay.
Right.
So one of y'all
Well,
get
I'm
on,
gonna ask the spirit.
on the
Nah,
other
you ain't gonna ask. You need to demand it. Power with the force of God behind you. You gotta demand it.
So Ashley, you go up
Okay,
the
I mean,
ladder
I'm the one who's like being a preacher now, so
and you get.
You ain't gotta ask. You
under
ain't
the
asking.
rope.
You demand it.
I think he was just being courteous. He's got this though. I believe in Zeb.
You demand it kindly.
I demand you kindly to leave that by.
Right.
Between Ashley and Gus pulling on the rope from both ends, you do slowly pull her out of the sky. You feel like you're pulling her weight up as without gravity on your side. And then as she gets near the ground, her body collapses and she loses that stiff, weird form she was in.
I'm gonna look at her, and as my offish descriptor, it It says I have like a talent in discerning truth, recognizing falsehood, and piercing disguises and discerning deceptions.
Yeah.
Can I apply that in this situation and try to like discern if this is like my sister or like a thing that looks like her but isn't her? Like, she's trying to scientifically reason this because.
Yeah, this is not a
Good luck.
sciencey thing. This looks like your sister, and there's nothing telling you that it is not.
All right, well then she just thinks everyone's an idiot. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Gotta get this child inside now." Excuse me.
Her hands are really darkened.
I take my overcoat and I like put it on her.
Yeah.
So then I'm cold, but that's fine.
And she is unconscious.
Yeah, I can pick her up.
Yeah, I'm like kind of carrying her with like the rope, and I'm like, we should probably tie her down. Don't want her floating up.
Let's get her indoors first.
I think, Gabe, you would notice that my hand is shaking after
Yep.
the
Yep.
fight.
And you hear the townsfolk like, who is she? What happened to her? And one of them says, that's one of the Woodens. That's one of the Wooden family girls.
She's a child that needs help.
Now, quit your pestering. You're all acting like a bunch of peckers woods. Just poking your nose in business not your own. Now get.
Hold on. You heard him. Your old Gus, get out of here. We got this.
And there's a lot of mumbling as you are heading out of this area. People cannot not talk about what they saw here, so there is going to be no choice in their conversing about it.
Isn't this all in the same area where we've been this whole time? So the
Yeah.
sheriff's office is like right there, right? I
Yeah.
look over to see if the sheriff is up looking.
No.
Did the sheriff do anything?
The sheriff is sleeping in front of the stove, a little pot-bellied
yelling.
stove, nice and warm.
Gabe, you hear people yelling and the sheriff's still sleeping.
Well, that ain't changed since we was chilling.
Let's get out of the fussing and get either, I don't know, whether take a doctor or church.
Might I recommend the church?
There is not a doctor in the town.
Yeah, I don't know no doctor.
Yeah, we don't got no doctor.
There
Well,
are
the other option, we have another option. We always go to my Pavardes.
yeah, there are old people in the town that know things about getting people feeling better.
Let's take
As long as
them
it's warm.
to the church for now. You can always bring somebody with those skills there if we need to.
Oh, the church! You need to get butter, and you got no butter. That don't matter though.
Which
right
church
now.
you taking her to? Presbyterian church?
That's the nearest one.
I
Please take
reckon
her
that
there.
would be the best one.
All right.
All right.
I take the money like out of the pocket of the coat, and then it's like, I'll meet you there, and then I just awkwardly leave to get butter.
No.
Hey, I'm gonna go with her. Hey,
That's-
where you're going? I'm gonna make sure she's okay. Hey, I'm gonna. Do you mind if I go with you? Just after seeing that's kind of got me a little a little worried. Do you mind if I join you really quickly? I can move through there and run back with the group.
She looks at you briefly and then nods, whatever suits you, and then she will go to Isaac and Family Groceries. And
you
like, I just gotta get butter.
Yeah, and they get the butter for you, and they take the couple of coins that it required. They put it in a box with a wax line, and that's kind of interesting. Here you are.
Okay.
Tell the pastor we're very thankful.
Thank you. I will. And I tuck the box in my arm, and then I like it. Well, she's curious by the wax, by the paper. I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
wax paper.
Yeah, it's like a waxy paper. Zebediah, can you make me a perception check?
Sure, I can. What am I trying to? What
You are
level is it?
rolling against a 2, so you need to roll above a 7.
Okay, well, nope. Okay, well, nope.
All right. No concern then.
And
Everything's good.
I just tuck the box under my arm and the butter box under my arm, and then starts to like power walk back, if not jog, all the way back to the church.
Zebediah, are you keeping up?
Trying to. Oh gosh, no one said nothing about running. Hold on a second. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So
As
yeah,
you're running,
I'll power jog.
as you're running, it dawns on you that they said that she was from a wealthy family, and you were looking at the shoes she's wearing and the clothes. They look dirty and poor and nothing like what any wealthy person you've ever met was dressed like.
That thought runs through my mind, but then I think again, like, well, thou shouldn't judge. So I mean,
All right.
I know. So, and to me, I know there's a story to tell behind it. So
Yeah.
when she's ready, she can say it.
The rest of you all get to the church before the others with the girl, and when you get in, you can see there are some people in there starting to sit down. They have some tables set up. They're getting some food prepared, and the pastor, she comes over. What happened here? She all
Pastor,
right?
do you have a furnace?
Well, yeah,
we
we
have
got
to
the
warm
fireplace.
Yeah, we have to warm this little lady up.
Oh yeah, look at her fingers and her toes. She's getting frostbite. We need to get her
Real
warm. You're
bad.
right.
Yeah, we gotta warm her up quick.
Come on, move those
Pass.
tables. And she tells some people to move the tables out of the way. Make space in front of the furnace, in front of the fireplace.
I grab the pastor by the arm. Pastor, one moment of your time.
Sure.
Once she gets everything going.
You're Gabriel, right? You were over in the
Yes,
war
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was.
with Albie.
That's for part of the time. That is correct. You're going to be hearing stories about this poor girl. I fear some sort of haint or nefarious spirit had her hanging around 30-odd feet up in the air, upside down, with her arms swayed off like an inverted cross.
What are you talking about? That makes no sense. People cannot fly, and they can definitely not just levitate in the middle of the air.
Not without assistance from things beyond our means.
Well, let's get her warmed up, and then we'll start concern ourselves with that, if that is a real concern. Are you? And she reaches up and touches your forehead. Are you all right, Gabriel? I mean, you might have gotten.
You can ask any of the people who was here with me. They'll tell you the exact same thing.
All right. I believe you. I just, I got to make sure that. Well,
I appreciate it.
yeah, let's get her in front of the fire, and they take off the blanket, and they say, all right, can you all turn around? We got to get some dry clothes on her. These are wet. And she,
Yep.
could one of you go and get
Preserve
out of
dignity.
the
Yeah.
box over there something warm, something dry for her? And when you come back, Ashley, she goes, well, can you turn around, please? Can maybe you and Gabriel hold up this blanket so we can change her?
Yep.
And one of the girls comes back and they change her.
And Albie's just sitting in a pew, not saying anything,
All right.
just sitting still.
And you're sitting there for a moment, and Thea and Zebediah come in at the back of the church. They both look winded, like they've been running in the cold. It is hard to catch your breath in that cold, Thea. You realize running in the cold is no fun.
Yeah.
I point you back to where they're at.
And you see a
Nod.
big blanket being held up.
And then I said, I brought the butter. I'm gonna get some water for
And
her.
you see that they have disrobed your sister and put her in some more in drier clothes. Got her out of that wet dress she was in, and the knickers that were twisted up underneath.
Would I know how to treat frostbite?
I will give you a. I have to look at your sheet again. Hold on a second. the Advacia. You don't know. You know that. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. You have. Actually, you might know. You could make a cures what ails you roll.
Okay.
Against your intellect. You are going against. It is not a difficult thing to treat if it's caught early, so I'm going to make it a level 2. So you're trying to roll above a 7 or higher, so above a 6.
The 2.
Is there anything you can do to either reroll or add points to that, Scott?
Yeah, do we have EXP or anything like that?
You do not have XP yet, but the pastor there says you're doing that a little wrong. I see you have got a little bit of the arts in you for healing. And she kind of gives you some new guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, try it again, try it this way. And she kind of shows you how. And you may roll one more time. And this time you are rolling eased 1, so you need to roll above a 3. So 4 or higher is all you need.
I rolled a 7.
All right. So it's a little fumbly, but she walks you through what you need to do. I don't know what they are, but y'all do. So you are now helping out with the healing she needs. She is still unconscious though, and the pastor looks at you and goes, "Thank you for getting the butter. The grits will be ready soon. Hey, fellas, you all can stay for some grits if you'd like. The grits are about done. We're gonna get the butter in them now. Why don't you take a break too, Thea? And then she looks at you and goes, "You two look. Is she a wooden? I recognize her.
It's Alexandra.
Oh, that is your sister. I am so sorry." And she says, come, can you, what happened? And she takes you away from everyone else, especially keeping an eye on Gabriel to kind of create distance and space. What happened out there?
She takes a minute to center herself. Look, I don't know how any of this happened, but there's some weird going-ons outside. We was walking to town. Birds kept dropping out of the sky, dead as doorknobs. And then we kept seeing, I don't know, some funny cloud. And next thing we're in town, Ashley points up and says, "What's that?" And we all look up, and there she is floating in the sky, upside down, in the freezing, in the cold.
Gabriel is smiling.
And she looks over at Gabriel. Why don't you go spend a little time with your friends, have some grits. You have done a terrific job. Your sister is going to come through this. I am going to step out for a bit. I'm going to go get someone, and I'll be back shortly, okay? Can y'all make sure that the grits are fed to all these folks? They need a little food and some warmth in their bellies. Keep her warm. And she goes over to one of the other girls that is also living there. Mm-hmm. Talks to her for a few minutes about something, and then they start, making the bowls of grits and bringing them out. And she comes back and walks you to the seat. Come on, sit down, girl. The rest of you, come on, sit down. You need to get a full belly in you. We got plenty of grits and butter. I'll be back shortly. I do want to talk to all of y'all before you go, so please don't.
Well, you'll have to catch me a little bit later because I have some work to go do.
I'll eat a bowl of grits. It's cold out. You need the warmth.
I'm not hungry. I got plenty of warmth right here.
Sit yourself down. You can't live off of mash alone. Eat a bowl of grits.
Now,
and
I love you and respect
and the pastor comes over and sees that in your hand, and she takes it out of your hand and says, "You will not be drinking that here." And she takes it out. And she closes it up.
Not
I'll be
drinking
back shortly. And she puts it in her pocket in her dress. And you may have
I'm
it
holding
when I
on to
get-
it. I'm holding on to it. I ain't letting it go. I'm leaving, so I'm taking it with me. So I'm like, she's trying to pull it out of my hand.
Abby, hold on a second. Abby,
Listen, we still have
look at me.
workers that are not
Hey,
accounted
hey.
for, and we got to make sure that they made it to work safely. With everything going on, we can't just get sidetracked with one thing. I have a job to do, and I still need to go do my job. Gus,
Abby,
did
we
we
just
see
want to
those?
sit down for it. It's going to take. Abby, it's going to take 1 second. Just calm down. I'll cool down a little bit,
Look,
okay?
we can-
I'm listening. I hear you out.
We can take a
Take
second
deep
and
breath and
cool our
just
britches.
have a quick bite.
I'll stay, but I'm not eating. I'm not hungry.
One of you girls, can you add a little bit of the pork fat in there? Make sure that there's some real flavor to that, not just the butter. And you hear that, Albie, and you're like, oh, that's good.
Just saying, Albie, you missing out. This is good mush.
Well, the fact that Lieutenant Gabe over here told me to do it now just makes me not want to do it even more.
Right.
So, like, even though in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, that sounds good, I have
I am
those
savoring every bite.
and just not doing it. But
Well, all right. If you're
Fucking
going to be like
pighead,
that,
have yourself a
you can
bowl.
escort me into town then.
sounds good. That way I can check on the things. Let's
All right. You get, as you're walking, she's just asking you about your family and stuff, all the kind of small talk that is, rampant in places like this.
You know, all I got left is my sister.
I know. I ain't
She's
seen
fine.
you. I ain't seen you in church though. Not since you got back, and I know that has got to be weighing on you too. Salvation don't happen in that little flask of yours. You know that, right?
I'm not looking for salvation.
You ought to be.
Maybe, but not right now. I'm not. Right now, I'm just dealing with my own things, my own way.
I know. Congratulations, by the way, on the job at Brooms. Is that helping you out, getting you a little bit of money in your pocket you need?
Hey, it's taking care of my sister and Sam's mom.
And as you're walking, you see the sheriff is walking towards y'all. Morning, Pastor. She nods. Can I have a word with Albie, please? I got a question. I got some questions about the incident that happened. Oh yeah, of course. I'll be right back. And she heads into the hotel.
Mhm.